My name's Alex, I'm a beekeeper, avid gardener, and I just generally like to keep busy with loads of different projects. I also enjoy making films about the various things I get involved in, and I upload these onto YouTube for anyone to watch, so I'm glad that you've stumbled across this little video, and I hope to share an exciting new journey that I've just embarked on. It all started 4 years ago when I was given a beehive and I became a beekeeper. This little hobby over the past few years has expanded quite a bit, and my harvests of honey are getting larger and larger each year. I was living in a house share with some of my best friends, which was so much fun, but my bedroom had turned into a honey beekeeping warehouse, and I realised that it probably wasn't too sustainable to live, work and run my business all from my bedroom, so I started looking at alternative places to live. So where would a beekeeper like to live? Somewhere with plenty of space, somewhere with an abundance of fields, forests and places for the bees to forage nearby. Yeah, this would be ideal. And there's been a number of occasions over the past 2 years where I have thought I found the perfect place. I am driving across a river! Ah! Welcome to Wales, folks. There was a red kite sat on that post. There was plenty of space for beehives, a large garden for growing all the plants I could ever dream of, and the landscape was just absolutely stunning. On paper it was perfect. I could imagine it being the ideal place to run a little beekeeping business. However, it was 3.5 hours away from my current home on the west side of Wales. 3.5 hours away from a lot of my friends and about 6 hours away from where my family live. And I know that these are the things that I value most, and despite the beauty of this place, I really had to look for somewhere closer to home. I've lived in Bristol for the past couple of years and I've absolutely loved living in the city, being just a short walk away from shops, restaurants and bars and a wonderful diverse community. And I didn't really want to move too far away from here. I have made lots of friends here and lots of nice connections, and I didn't want to lose that. Now luckily, within a 30-minute drive, you can reach parts of England and Wales which feel like you could be hours away from anywhere. So I started looking within a 30-minute radius of the city centre. In January 2024, I found myself taking a look at another property. This is it, and it's right next to this river. There it is. Now apparently inside there is nothing. Windows are boarded up. It's a complete renovation job. I wonder how long these beehives have been here. Yeah, there's almost certainly no bees in there. It's such a nice spot. I could do this up, turn it into my house. But in reality, I couldn't. I don't have the skills, there was no vehicle access, and to be honest, I have so many other things to be getting on with, and I don't think I'd have the time to convert this place fully. Once again though, the imagination took over, and I got very excited about this, but it just wasn't a very practical thing for me to do. Over the coming winter, I also explored the idea of, instead of moving out of my current place, I thought I might just look for a little plot of land where I could keep my bees, store all my stuff in sheds, and have my bedroom space back again. Beautiful hazel catkins. That's what the female flower looks like. That little red thing. This is a 2-acre patch of land with some nice views and a building over here. I was expecting something a little less primitive, but I could work with that, I guess. You could have a load of beehives, you could have pigs over there, you could have chickens. Beautiful big oak tree as well. Ah, there it is. I'm gonna walk the perimeter. I ended up attending an online auction for the first time, and I placed my bid on the land, shortly to be beaten, but it was interesting to see how it all worked. That was the most exciting thing. And I did decide to keep on looking in this area because I really did like it. About 18 months later, in June 2025, I found a barn for sale. Converted in 1998 and modernised again in 2016. It was within 30 minutes of the city, but secluded enough within the hills to feel like you could be hours away from anywhere. Space for a kitchen garden, fruit trees and flowers, but also cosy and quiet. I put in my offer, and whilst out working on the beehives the following week, I had a rather exciting phone call.
I have good news for you.
Oh wow. No way, gosh, I don't know what to say. That's amazing. Thank you for the good news. I should just be happy about that news, but for some reason I feel kind of scared. This is going to be one of the biggest changes I've had. I'm going to continue checking my bees. They're making loads of honey, which is great. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Phase 1 is underway, and that includes packing up my room into boxes. Currently enjoying it, but I can imagine it's going to become not so enjoyable soon. I'm currently getting ready to move house, and I'm potting up a load of the plants that I've been growing in my allotment and also in my back garden. Now, when I planted my strawberries, for example, in my allotment a couple of years ago, they sent off a load of runners, created loads more strawberry plants. So this morning I was potting them up, and then also my artichokes, green globe artichokes, which grew into these wonderful plants this year. I didn't want to throw them away because they actually take a bit of time to grow. You have to sow the seed one year, and it won't be until the following year that you get any harvest from. So I've dug them up and I'm just about to put them in pots. As you can see, they've grown into these really quite big root balls. There's obviously not much going on at the top now because I cut the growth off this year, but you can see new shoots coming up here and here. They're looking a bit sad because they're drying out a bit. So I'm going to get these into some pots. And then also I've just been making the most of all the seedlings that I found in the allotment. These verbenas, which were seed that must have fallen last year or this year. They've grown into nice plants. I'm just potting up as many as I can, and it just saves time and money when I move house. Oopsie. All these egg boxes which I've been collecting over the past couple of years hopefully will come into use next year, because one of my projects that I want to do next spring is raise some pet ducks. The ducks will be grown to hopefully lay plenty of eggs and also be a very valuable slug eater in the garden. So pest control and food. Look at that, 2 years of egg boxes. Oh my goodness. I've got a fridge and a larder. My plan is to turn it into a home over the next few months. Currently, we just have empty rooms. And we of course have all of that to play around with. A few days after moving, my dad visited with a van full of plants and offered to help me design the garden. I've got so many plant gifts. This one is Mahonia, but it's a small leaf variety. Small and also soft, which is strange, or not strange, but all the other Mahonias have very spiky leaves. And these are really good for bees in winter because they flower in the autumn, winter time. This is a tree fern, but it doesn't look like a tree, and that's because it's a baby one. They get much bigger than this. We're seeing the evolution of a tree fern. This is tree fern number 2. I don't know how old a tree fern this size would be, but I imagine they look old in the way that they grow. And here we have big tree fern. And this one's actually like a tree. And they come from
Tasmania, in the forested areas where they're doing forestry. They harvest the eucalyptus trees every so many years, and the tree ferns just grow as weeds underneath the eucalyptus trees.
Well, thanks for my presents. I really appreciate it.
You've got a whole tree fern forest.
Oh, and a banana.
This is dwarf Cavendish, and Cavendish is the variety that we eat. So in theory, if you keep this for long enough for the stem to mature, you will get some small edible bananas.
I think my aim eventually is to get a nice round table and chairs for this little area of the garden, because I can imagine on a nice summer's evening this will be so nice because you'll be shaded by this hedge behind me. And one of my main aims in my new garden is to create a little pocket of wildlife diversity. I want to bring in as many different species of animals as possible. Of course, growing lots of plants and flowering plants, there's going to be lots of insects, lots of bees and pollinators. But because I really love bird watching, I want to put up some bird feeders and maybe a couple of bird boxes too. This one has a magnetic lid. We can hang that up, and there we go. The sunflower seeder is up. And you've got these lovely wisteria pods. They're so smooth and sort of velvety. It's amazing what can happen if you dedicate a space for nature. And I saw this exact thing happen. My dad is a keen gardener, and I don't think his main priority was to create habitat for wildlife, but he loves plants and he loves growing things. And so he created a garden, and his garden is so alive with insects and bees. You walk in there on a summer's day and there's birds everywhere, and it just feels really nice to have these sorts of places. And I want to do something a little bit like that here. It's amazing to see what can happen if you give nature a little help, and that is exactly what my friends over at Planet Wild are doing. So if you haven't heard about Planet Wild before, it's a community-based nature protection organisation that is funded by its members. I think there's over 14,000 members now, funding loads of different projects around the world. These might include bringing back endangered species, protecting the oceans, restoring forests, and loads of other stuff too. The best part for me, and I'm sure many of the other members too, is that you can see exactly where the money is going. Planet Wild creates videos documenting every project that they work on. Within these videos, they clearly explain the problems that are being faced and how they're being solved. As Planet Wild members, not only do we fund nature protection every month, we get to connect with the community and the team online, and we receive monthly videos and text reports that show us exactly how we're making a difference. One of my favourite projects that Planet Wild took part in was helping the endangered little owl. Little owls are one of my favourite birds. I've only ever seen them once or twice in the wild, so I was super interested in this. They put up nest boxes, families of little owls were introduced to increase the population in the area, but so many more important projects are being worked on. Cleaning up oceans and stopping forest destruction are just a few, and by joining Planet Wild as a member, you can support projects like these, and you can give whatever amount you like, big or small. Today I'm going to be giving away a little gift to the viewers of this video. The first 100 people to use the code justalex11 will get a month's worth of Planet Wild membership paid for by me, so you can see what it's all about and see if you like it. All you need to do is scan this QR code or click the link in the video's description. There's no catch, you can cancel at any time, but having the first month free, you can see what it's all about and see some of the really cool projects that Planet Wild are working on. I'm going to find a spot to put my bird box, but it's interesting because the hole size is actually quite important, because if you use a really small hole, only certain species can go in. For example, I think blue tit nest boxes are smaller than, for example, great tit nest boxes. But with my bird box that I have, the hole's quite big, so it'll probably be suitable for sparrows or great tits. But I guess we'll find out next spring. Already the garden has plenty of mature shrubs that not only will act as a privacy barrier, but also will be habitat for so many animals and especially bird nests in the spring. However, there's a few ways in which I would like to make this garden my own. Of course, this will include having a few beehives, but also I really want to have less lawn and more other plants to create height and jungliness. I chatted with my dad for hours about all the possible garden ideas, all the different species of plants I could grow, and how we could design the garden in a way to make it feel really nice inside. So I'll post a whole video soon about designing the garden, which will be a little more in depth.
New planting on this side, making a partial screen, and planting on this side, you go all the way around here and you end up at your seating point bench which catches the afternoon sun here.
In the back garden will be where I'll try to grow plenty of vegetables, as well as look after the already mature grapevine and trained apple and pear trees. I'd like to make the kitchen garden full to the brim with things I can eat and flowers I can pick. And an urgent job I had to get on with was picking all the grapes that were ripe on the vines. I did not think that I would fill up this whole container with grapes. I picked a little over 9 kilograms of grapes, mashed them and strained them over the heat, and was left with about 6 litres of fresh grape juice, which tasted wonderful. And I'm looking forward to learning more over the coming years about looking after my vines. The next year will certainly be full of loads of new exciting projects, and I'm really happy to now have a space to produce more videos. Beekeeping will of course continue as normal. In fact, I plan to upscale this a little bit and also have a few hives in the garden. And the garden itself will be a fun project that I'll be working on alongside my dad, and I'm looking forward to getting loads more plants in the ground. And as I mentioned earlier, next spring I'm thinking about raising a few baby ducks for egg laying and pest control in the vegetable garden. I'm thinking about getting khaki Campbell ducks, as I've heard they're pretty good for laying eggs. All these projects will of course be filmed and documented and uploaded onto this YouTube channel, so you can follow along and keep learning about new things just as I will be doing. I once again want to direct you over to Planet Wild. Remember, the first 100 people to use the code justalex11 will get the first month membership paid for by me. Use this QR code or the link in the description and go and check out Planet Wild. And also, if you want to watch that video about little owls, click the video on screen now. Cheers for watching everyone, I'll see you soon.